Okay, how's everybody doing? Today we're talking a little bit about the Bay Area migration to Sacramento. It's been happening for a while and we all kind of know it, but how's it been going so far? A lot of people are thinking it's slowing down a little bit, but I want to tell you guys straight up, we do get a lot of calls from people from the Bay Area. I'd say at least maybe 50% of the calls that we get right now are from people directly from the Bay Area looking to make the move over to the Sacramento area. Now, the Sacramento area, as everybody knows, is a little bit, it's not just Sacramento, right? We're talking about people looking for Folsom, El Dorado Hills, Roseville, Rockland, Grant Bay. People are just looking to kind of get out of the Bay Area. A lot of the people remote work. Some people are just kind of like, thinking about making a switch over jobs. Some people even got laid off and said, you know what? I'm getting laid off, or I got laid off and I kind of want to make the move to Sacramento. Maybe I'm going to start renting, but then eventually I want to buy a place. So we are seeing still a lot of people coming in from the Bay Area as far as people thinking about moving in. And so it does make sense. I think a lot of people have basically seen some of the videos I've already done regarding the migration and everything too. But like I said, it's something that kind of makes sense. And I think everyone kind of see that. As far as like the pricing goes, as far as the median home price in the Bay Area, I mean, I don't know. This is kind of crazy. 2 counties, the median home price is like $2 million. I mean, that's just nuts in the Bay Area as far as pricing goes. You're talking about like Sacramento, San Francisco, and Oakland. I mean, over, $1 million to buy a house. We're not talking about a huge, amazingly crazy house like you can get in Sacramento. But for the most part, something that is like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, maybe a condo and everything too. So we are seeing a lot of migration. Now, a lot of people have I've talked to a lot of people and they're kind of like, nah, man, it's slow. A lot of people from the Bay Area have stopped. No, it's just the fact that the market in general has slowed down a little bit. I don't care what realtor you're talking to or whatnot. I will tell you one thing right now. The market has slowed down a bit. Right? We're talking inventory stacking up a little bit. And as much as we thought interest rates would trigger the market and there'd be a huge amount of people jumping in to buy, it's still relatively slow. As far as houses, we're seeing a lot of stuff sit on the market. We're seeing a lot of stuff that's, I wouldn't say overpriced, but maybe priced a little too high, like something that was maybe valued at $850. People are listing it for like $950. And that's kind of what we're seeing on the market currently right now. So that's the truth. That's the transparency of it. I would say if you're looking to sell your home and, you're doing a move, you got to do what you got to do, price aggressively, work with a listing agent that has a track record of good marketing and not just says they have good marketing. I would also say that there should be a little added stuff that they're doing, like just, making sure they're doing social media, make sure that they're doing broker opens, all that kind of stuff too. This is definitely the market that you just can't throw something on and just cross your fingers and it'll go. Like 4 offers, you're good. There are instances though. Where you will list a house and all of a sudden there will be a ton of offers and it will go. But usually we're talking about houses that are put, like let's say something's valued at $900 and the listing agent tells the seller, hey, look, let's put that thing at $875. You're in a hot market. Let's put it on, see how it does. A lot of things that are listed low tend to still get those aggressive offers, but you end up winding up at the spot where the house is worth. You don't see anything going way over value where all of a sudden we're waiving the appraisal contingencies and whatnot. Now, for the Bay Area, is this something that's still worth it? Yeah, absolutely. The Bay Area is so overpriced right now. And the other thing too about the Bay Area that's kind of crazy is the fact that your lifestyle, as far as movies, as far as entertainment, as far as tolls even, I mean, it's just kind of crazy. I mean, getting a piece of pizza is getting crazy in the Bay Area as well too. I mean, look at these tolls, guys. I mean, is that crazy? Look at these tolls as far as going from one spot to the other. Now in Sacramento, we don't have tolls. Not yet. There could be in the future. Who knows, right? But as of right now, we don't have tolls in Sacramento. So if you want to go from let's say East Sacramento to Roseville, you're good to go. If you want to go from Pilot Hill to downtown Sacramento, you're still good to go. I mean, one of the things that is crazy, and I was in Walnut Creek yesterday, it was we hit a couple tolls before we got there. And it's just nuts how much you spend in the Bay Area. So I think for that alone, I mean, a lot of people are thinking about look, I'm out. And here's the thing. In Sacramento, we are a driving city, and there is definitely better transportation in the Bay Area. But I think a lot of people do choose to drive in the Bay Area. And what you're going to notice is that because you're in traffic, you are wasting gas. So for me, I look at the Bay Area and I say there's so many pros to making the move to Sacramento, as far as jobs, as far as like housing prices. I mean, we all know that like here in Sacramento, what the median home price, like what in the Bay Area is like over $1 million. In Sacramento, you can get something for about $500,000 here. Nice house, nice area, and you're not going to sweat your mortgage payment. Jobs wise, still pretty solid. Look at all these tolls. I mean, honestly, that's just crazy. 5 axles, $46.25. This is what is turning into in the Bay Area. Now, here's the craziest part too, is like, if you are someone in the Bay Area, and let's say you got a good job and you got like this nice tech job, right? And you're saying, oh my God, I'm going to be able to buy a house. Even with like a high salary, the Bay Area, what they're saying right now is 2024 is the year of the renter, i.e. you're not buying, you're renting. And here's the thing about the Sacramento area that I absolutely love is the fact that I work with a lot of kids, call them kids, anyone younger than me is a kid, a young professional that has graduated Sacramento State, and they swing right into their first property. Boom, right there, not even a problem. They're like, someone I moved in maybe about a couple of years ago with Aaron, his name is Justin, bought a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath house he bought was like for $425, did a little work on it, moved in his fraternity brothers from Sacramento State, rented out, and they're paying off his mortgage. So it does kind of make a lot more sense to do it out here. As far as job goes too, jobs, honestly, like jobs here in Sacramento, we have such a job diversity that when like NVIDIA loses stock or cuts workers, yeah, the Bay Area does bleed. Like we don't bleed that much here. I mean, yes, Intel laid off a lot of people. We're still okay. People are still buying homes in Folsom. They're still hard to find, hard to get. Roseville is still like that. Elk Grove. I mean, it's still not one of those markets where it's like, oh my God, like Intel laid off a whole bunch of people and all of a sudden everyone's panicking. There's communities that are completely empty. It's just not that way in Sacramento. We have such a nice load balance of jobs. It's just nuts. Look at this rent too. Look at that. $4,100 for rent in the Bay Area. And that's probably like a 1-bedroom, 1-bath. Look at this rent difference, guys, between the Bay Area and Sacramento. So I kid you, even if you were just thinking to yourself, you know what? I'm going to give Sacramento a shot. I'm going to test it out and everything too. And renting out for a year, you're still not in that bad of a shape. I mean, that stuff is just crazy. Tech companies, what is it? Tech companies 2022, 23, and 24 have slashed more than 46,000 jobs in the Bay Area. I mean, if you're in the Bay Area, doesn't that stress you out? The idea that there was a round, because I worked in the tech market in the Bay Area for a while before I made the move to Sacramento. Smartest move I've ever made. But weren't you guys freaking out right now where all of a sudden, you had a couple people, because this happened to me, a couple people that you were talking to, oh my God, I think they're doing layoffs, and all of a sudden they're gone. And then you're wondering, is it us? Is it maybe, am I next on the chopping block? I got a mortgage, I got a car payment, or I got a rent even. I mean, what do you do? And I'll tell you something, guys, in the Sacramento area, as far as state jobs go, stability going into recession, we're talking election stuff happening as well too. People are kind of freaking out. Look at this. Government jobs are traditionally very stable. Once hired in most cases, you'll enjoy substantial job safety and security from layoffs and unexpected downsizing. Guys, one of the beautiful parts about the Sacramento area is, honestly, at least 50% of the people I run into work for the state. DMV, IRS, not a big fan of that one either, but all these companies are here. And a lot of people work for them. And so what you're going to notice is that you might not get that crazy, Cisco engineer price that you'd get in the Bay Area, but the stability that comes with this, the idea of pension, retiring early, and also being able to buy a house that's, I don't know, $500,000, $600,000, and even just pay it off before you retire. I mean, there is that possibility here in Sacramento. Now, the other thing about Sacramento that I love, and a lot of people from the Bay Area love, is the fact that because of COVID, and I kid you not, a lot of people right now are thinking to themselves, I need a bigger house. We were in COVID, it was brutal. We were doing the Zoom calls here. It was just nuts. And you feel like this, right? And that's the thing about Sacramento. A lot of people, when they made the move here from the Bay Area or other spots, Florida right now is big. A lot of people from Florida are moving back to California because of all the stuff happening over there. But what we noticed also is a lot of the people from the Bay Area, they had smaller homes. There's nothing wrong with that, location. But the idea is if you get into a situation like COVID again, and who knows what might happen in the future, you got Zoom calls, you got kids entertain, and you're like in this tiny little space. What we ended up finding is a lot of people that made the move to Sacramento were thinking to themselves, you know what, we want double or even triple the square footage. We want to bring in mom. We want to have 2 Zoom rooms. We want to have a spot where the kids can basically like have fun and play. We want to bring people into the house. We want to have a pool. We want to have that resort lifestyle, and we want to keep it under like $800,000, $900,000. And what I was able to tell them is you probably get it cheaper than that here. So I think one of the things that I love about the Sacramento area more than anything is the fact that, like, for me, when I pay off my mortgage payment, I'm paying it, but I'm enjoying what I have, right? In the Bay Area, one is I was a renter. Did not even I didn't even think about honestly buying a house. It was just something that I just couldn't imagine it. I mean, in the Bay Area, the funniest thing about that is like, it's like single people in the Bay Area don't buy houses. It's the weirdest thing in the world. I know. It's like house prices are so crazy in the Bay Area that it's not like, oh my God, I'm going to buy a house. I mean, if you get a good deal and your mom sells to you or your dad sells to you or you get some smoking deal, yeah. But for the most part, it's kind of like boy meets girl or girl meets boy, whatever. They both have great jobs. Then they both decide to buy a house together. That's just kind of how it is in the Bay Area. And the stress with that is just crazy. I mean, both people need to keep their jobs. What if they have a kid, leave? Like, what if someone gets sick? What if someone, all that stuff too. So all of a sudden, it's not only just one job you're stressed about, it's like 2 jobs. You got to make sure both people are working and they're going. And the other thing too in the Bay Area is the stress of like not having savings, right? The beautiful part in Sacramento that is like a lot of our jobs, our state jobs are well paid. I mean, a lot of entrepreneurship, realtors, mortgage professionals, like people working in the insurance industry as well too. People even developing and building out houses as well too. There's a lot of industries where you can make a lot of money here in the Sacramento area. And the beautiful part is a lot of people save. Majority of the people that I know in this industry that I'm in right now, and people I just know in general, have a savings. In the Bay Area, it was more like living check to check. It was like, oh my God, it's amazing. People are telling me I should be like 3 months, 6 months ahead of the game, and I'm going paycheck to paycheck. And so one of the things for me is the stress. The stress always just stressed me out in the Bay Area. I was like, oh my, what if something happens? And it was just a freaky kind of thing when you hear about someone that you never thought would be let go and they're gone. And then you're wondering if you're next, and you just don't know who's talking about it. Are they talking about you? Are you going to be next? And that stress definitely affects you. In Sacramento, one of the beautiful parts is there's so many jobs out here you can do. Entrepreneurship is big. People are starting their own businesses. The restaurant industry is flourishing out here as well too. It's really a good spot where if you kind of want to start all over and have a fresh start, this is definitely a great spot to do it. Like for myself, coming out here to Sacramento, I wanted that fresh start. I wanted to basically just kind of have a do-over where I could just do what I wanted to do, and that's it. And so I got into real estate because I always loved real estate, and I was encouraged, did YouTube, and all of a sudden this became what I do. And I love it. I love the idea right now that I'm not commuting in the rain on a bus to San Francisco. And for me, it's amazing. And a lot of the people that we work with right now feel that, right? They're not doing as much impulse buying right now. What I mean is during COVID and a little after COVID, because the Zoom thing was so everyone was doing Zoom. Everyone got that okay to do Zoom. So everybody out there was for the most part I'm going to buy somewhere in Sacramento. Doesn't matter where it is. I want a really sweet house. I want those views. I want the pool. I want everything. Now it's a little bit more planned out, right? A lot of people are saying to themselves, okay, my wife's got a job. She's going to transfer. I'm probably going to quit my job in the Bay Area, and then I'm going to move in. We're going to buy the house that way, and then I'm going to find a job in the Sacramento area. So it's a little bit more strategic, I'd say. That's kind of what you're seeing right now from this new migration from the Bay Area. It's not just hey, we're going out one weekend, show us a couple $2 or $3 million houses, and we're going to buy one, and that's it. We're going to do the Zoom calls. It's a little bit more planned out, and I think a lot of people are kind of feeling the kind of the idea that this is a good move, but they just strategically have to plan it out a little bit because everyone's feeling the whole recession pinch. The job numbers are skewed as far as the election going to. No one knows what's going to happen after the election as well too, and it's definitely going to affect the real estate market. Now, Sacramento for me, as far as people moving out of the Bay Area, it's an obvious choice. 100%. I mean, if you look at other areas like Southern California, you're going to be paying just as much. Better weather. Don't get me wrong. I love the weather down there. Santa Barbara, one of my favorite spots. But at the same time, you still run into that problem of that higher price tag. It's still a hard thing to do, moving into somewhere like, LA, even though the weather's great, or Santa Barbara or something like this. It's still such an in-demand spot, and they're not building a lot of new homes. So the resale inventory that's out there is just scattered. It's not really good still. And a lot of people from the Bay Area are like, why would I leave a really strong tech market in the Bay, move to LA or Santa Barbara, where I don't have those jobs that I could basically get the same salary I was having in San Francisco, because I'm going to need it if I'm going to buy something that's just as expensive as in the Bay Area. Now, Sacramento is a perfect choice. The location's fantastic, close to Tahoe, just central to everything. This, state capital, it's fantastic. We got rivers, lakes, we got the outdoor entertainment factor, we got new houses and all that stuff too. But the idea here also is it's not too far from the Bay Area, where if you need to make that 1 or 2 day commute, it's perfect. We do have a great nightlife. We have like a lot of restaurants are coming in with Michelin stars. We got a lot of community vibe too, and you can actually buy what you want here. So Sacramento is becoming more of the obvious choice to a lot of people from the Bay Area, and we're seeing it more and more and more. It's one of those things where a lot of people are saying to themselves, okay, we're looking for something maybe $600,000. We want it new. Is that possible? And then when we're showing them options that you could have in like West Roseville and Rancho, or even sometimes in Folsom at Tri-Point, they're pretty much blown away. And the idea here is that, Sacramento, for me, I look at it, and for me, maybe just because I live here and I am a realtor here in Sacramento, but it's so obvious to me that we are such the best bang for your buck in California. Now, if you have your heart set on moving to Florida, God love you for that. Go for it. Like insurance costs is out of control. All that stuff is nuts. If you decide to move to Texas, which a lot of people are, the humidity, all that stuff, that's okay. I think a lot of people here in Sacramento don't realize the fact that like we kind of got it good. Yes, we have hot summers, and yes, I'm not a big fan of them, as everybody knows who watches this channel. But I'm looking at the news and I'm thinking to myself, the Bay Area, a couple weeks ago, they had like an earthquake or something. All of a sudden you got tornadoes, you got hurricanes, you got this, you got flooding and all this stuff too. And I'm sitting here in Sacramento and I'm complaining because the weather's a little hot while I'm sitting in a pool. So we don't have it bad here. We actually have it really, really, really good in California. Pretty soon, in a week or so, it's going to get cooler weather. We're going to see the seasons change. And I'm probably a month from now, I'll probably take my daughter up snowboarding and have a good old time. So I think a lot of people here in California, that are thinking about maybe moving to Florida, maybe moving to Texas, really have got to kind of factor in the idea that like we do have it good here. We do have it good in California in general, right? We might not have that Southern California weather, but we have the affordability. And you can buy that pool, you can buy that house, and it's not going to break the bank. We have the job diversity that's fantastic. We have all these new schools popping up. We have new homes too. Areas in Southern California, areas in the Bay Area, they're not building the type of new homes that we're building right here. How many places in SoCal or in San Francisco can you buy a 3,000 square foot house for around $750,000? You can do that here in the Sacramento area. Crazy as it sounds, you can definitely do that. So I think that's one of the things that's making this a fantastic spot. And not to mention, here's the thing for our infrastructure. We're growing, we're developing. Folsom's going to have 3 more new schools. Elk Grove's got 2 coming in. We got all these new houses, all these new parks, all this new development that's happening. Is it going to be great for like the wildlife and for like all that stuff? As much as the new home communities are going to tell you, yes, we're going to preserve a lot of it, there's going to be a part of it that's gone. It's just the way it is. And that's just the reality of what we're doing. Areas like the video I just did on Monday, Cameron Park, are going to be hot because that's going to be the new kind of like El Dorado Hills, right? Where all of a sudden you have like houses with big pieces of land, great views, not a lot of neighbors, and it's kind of going to be that way. So if we keep building the way we're building, 2030 is going to be there. But if you're looking for something that's kind of in the mix between like you got the stores, you got the shopping, you got the schools, but yet you still have a nice amount of like views, scenery, hiking, mountain biking, rivers, lakes, and an active, thriving economy and city, that's what Sacramento is probably going to be geared for. It's already that way a little bit right now, but by 2030, it's going to be a place where a lot of people who bought in the Sacramento area are probably going to be super happy they did. And if you haven't, or if you're thinking about coming out here, there's my number. Call my team. We'd love to talk to you. Like I said, guys, we are always out and about. The only real time that I'm actually not is when I'm doing the show or doing videos. And if you want to, follow me on Instagram. I post a lot of stories where I'm running around, kind of doing my thing. Now, if you are also enjoying this broadcast and you like the live show on Wednesdays, please smash the button. And if you guys have any questions about what we're covering, what we're talking about, please let me know. I'd really love to hear it. But as far as the migration goes from the Bay Area to Sacramento, it is going at the pace that normally it's going at the pace based on the slower market we're in right now. There's still a lot of calls from people in the Bay Area coming out here. It's definitely a little bit more strategic. People are planning it out a little bit. As far as like when COVID was, and as far as the Zoom stuff goes, we're not seeing as many people that are kind of like able to do the Zoom thing as they were before, but we are seeing a lot of people who are maybe going to suck it up and do maybe one day of driving every couple weeks. And so as far as us, the Bay Area realized something that I think other places in the country and the state are slowly realizing. Sacramento is the best bang for your buck in California. California's got it good, and it might be something that you want to check out. So if that's you guys, like I said, if you are thinking to yourself, I am in the Bay Area. I heard of Sacramento. I've seen some hate videos and comments about Sacramento. I'm just not really sure. Come out for the weekend. Let us show you some of the stuff. Let us know what you like, right? What kind of lifestyle do you like? Are you like a hiker, biker? Do you like paddleboarding? Do you like the barbecue? Are you a homebody? Do you like concerts? Do you like, brew pubs? I mean, what is your thing? And I guarantee you we'll be able to find it in the Sacramento area. We've been doing that with a lot of people, and a lot of people are like absolutely like blown away with what they're finding here. So that's it. That's my spiel. So if you are someone from the Bay Area, and you are thinking about making the move out here, let me know. I can answer any questions you have, and here's my phone number right here. Okay, so now we're going to go to the part of the show where basically we get a lot of comments on the YouTube channel. We got a lot of questions, and we do a lot of polls. So normally at this time of the show, I normally like to throw up people's comments and answer them, as well as go through some of the polls that we did and answer them as well too. So hopefully you'll enjoy that, and you guys will kind of like let me know what you think. And as far as let's jump into mortgage rates right now, here's what we're seeing. They're going up a little bit. Not much, a little bit. Now, as we mentioned back when not yesterday, but, when Jerome Powell came out and he was talking about how they're doing like a cut and everything too. The cut had already been anticipated. So like what I was saying in my video in the live that I did then, I was like, don't expect there to be a dramatic cut. In fact, it could actually go up a little bit, which it kind of did. So just understand that for right now, I'm thinking it's going to probably be a little flattish. Is this a horrible thing? Not so much. I mean, honestly, right now, like our inventory is coming back, even though it's not the inventory everyone wants. It's usually that stuff that's sitting on the market, a little overpriced, and it's just not moving. So that's kind of what we're seeing at this point right now. Hopefully, it will get better. Okay, so homeowner insurance, this is about Florida. And like I said, guys, it's crazy. One of the things I've been noticing online is that there is a massive amount of people that are just selling houses in Florida. A lot of people that we worked with were selling their homes, and they're like, we're going to Florida. Florida is. In fact, actually, a great client of ours, Chris, had bought a house. I won't use last names. I'll keep it totally anonymous. But he bought a house, and basically the lady was set to move to Florida. And it's like people are moving to Florida, and then they're pivoting right away. The weather is a big shock to them. As far as homeowner insurance is crazy. I mean, you think California is bad? Guys, talk to a homeowner insurance person in Florida prior to moving out there. Weather, I don't know. So I'm seeing a lot of people kind of do that. About face and come back. I've gotten at least last 2 weeks, kid you not, about like 4 to 5 calls from people from Florida. They're thinking about making the move back to Sacramento. No, one actually lived in Yuba, but now when he's moving back, he's thinking maybe Sacramento might be a better spot for him. So yeah, we got people coming back from Florida, and welcome back. Here's the thing. I think it's one of those things that when you live outside an area, you can really reevaluate it and figure out if that area is the spot that's really good for you. And I think that a lot of people are seeing the fact that Sacramento is pretty sweet. It's developing, it's growing. We got some new houses. Yes, no one likes Melrose, but with the Melrose, we're going to see new police departments, schools, parks, athletic centers, and all that stuff too. So it's going to be a fun area. Like I said, 2030, Folsom Ranch, Elk Grove are going to change the landscape. Those two alone are going to change the landscape of the Sacramento area. A's coming in for 3 years. If you guys haven't checked out in Rancho Cordova and you like breweries, the Barrel District's coming in, has some of the best brews in all of Sacramento. So, I mean, we are doing a lot of fun stuff, and we have a lot of restaurants right now that are getting Michelin stars. So it's a fun time to be in Sacramento. And if you're someone who's thinking about making the move in here, I would say if heat's your thing, I would actually come out before the heat stops. I'd say come out this weekend and vibe out the heat and see if it's too much for you. But if heat's not a big deal, and like you say to yourself, man, I'd rather do heat than a hurricane. I'd rather do heat than an earthquake. Come on in a couple of weeks, wear your nice little cardigan, come on in, and we'll show you some great stuff in the Sacramento area. All right, next one. Boom, right for luxury home in Folsom. All right, one of the things I have been doing for you guys is putting up, like, I go out all the time. I mean, I kid you not, probably like at least once, now probably like 5 times a week, we are at the new homes easily in various areas: Elk Grove, Rockland, Folsom, Roseville, you name it, we do it. And so I've been taking these videos for you guys to kind of show you a little bit of the inventory in these areas. Now, if you look at the channel and underneath, you're going to see playlists. There's going to be a playlist about all the homes in Roseville, Rancho. I'm going to keep adding to it. So if you guys have any questions, if you know a specific video and you see one, you're like, wow, that looks pretty good, I wonder what the details are, reach out to me. Make sure you reference the video's title. I'll go in there and I'll tell you exactly like the price, bedrooms and bathrooms, square footage, Melrose, HOA, and if there are any incentives currently offered on them. Like I said, in the future, they're going to get better. I'm going to probably do a little voiceovers, add the HOA and Melrose details, but I want you guys to feel like this is you're going to get a current look of what's out there. In Elk Grove, if you see the Elk Grove playlist underneath it, the shorts, you're going to see the new home company's new community, Arbor Ranch. And I was one of the first realtors out there who showcased it. And they're very nice. They're very beautiful homes. They're literally like going head to head with Taylor Morrison. The Melrose are like around, I think, 390, no HOAs, great community. And they have houses that are in the low square footages, like 3 bedroom, 2 bath, I think like 1,500, all the way to like 4,000 square feet around there. So they're really nice homes. So it's going to be a fun trip, and hopefully you guys are enjoying those house tours. If you are, let me know. And if you see those short clips that I'm doing with the house tours and I can improve on them, maybe do voiceovers, maybe add information, let me know. I want to do those for you guys so you have an idea of what's happening in the area. Now, we do have a couple listings right now in the market, so I'm going to do my first commercial on this channel right now. Welcome to 2078 Promontory Point Lane in Gold River, California. This home is listed for $625,000. It is 1981 square feet. It comes with an HOA, but the HOA includes a pool and a tennis court as well too. The home is also close to shopping, including Rite Aid, Bel Air Market, Smart and Final, really close to everything. If you're looking for Chipotle, it's about 2 minutes away. Arigato Sushi, as well as Il Forno Classico. This is a Robert Powell home, and like I said, it's in a complex that has a swimming pool as well as tennis courts, so there's tons of things for you to do. The house is meticulously maintained. It has finishes and updates that most other units in the area don't have as well too. Priced perfectly and ready for you. This amazing home is ready at $625,000. Like I mentioned, 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, close to walking trails, swimming pool, and everything. You really can't ask for much more on this amazing house. All right, that's our house in Gold River that we have listed right now. Like I said, if you guys have a house that you're thinking about selling, we promote it on this channel, we throw it out there, and we push it over and over in social media. So also, this house in Gold River is fantastic. It's one of the best, I think the best priced house in Gold River currently. So if you guys want to take a look at it, let me know. We'd love to show it to you. It has a clear pest, clear home inspection. Garden is awesome. It's one of the few it's the only community in Gold River that actually has a tennis court and a swimming pool. So it's pretty cool. All right, let's go over some more questions. Boom. All right, modern organic decor is my favorite. Guys, it is crazy. Okay, so the Toll Brothers Community Regency, it was hilarious because I was with a group this weekend. Really amazing group of people. I mean, we had like 20 people with us. And the funny thing is, like, we had to go through there were like 20 models up at Toll Brothers Regency. And it kind of struck me as like, it's amazing that Toll Brothers could produce 20 models and they all hit it out of the park. Toll Brothers definitely does it up. The models were amazing. And I think that, like, if you're looking for something like an active community, and here's the thing about the active community. I think a lot of people think of it as a retirement community. It's not. I kid you not, guys. These communities right now, these active communities, are so needed in kind of like our area, right? It's an active community where people are at the pool. They have like Taco Tuesdays. They got like bringing up like food trucks. They've got events. They've got live band. They've got music. They've got all that kind of fun stuff over there too. So if you guys are someone, looking for an active community plus 55, you just don't want to be isolated, stay in your home, and you want to go out and meet a lot of cool people, I would honestly tell you that you might want to check this community out. I've seen a lot of people who are adamant on like, there's no way I'm going there because they think it's like a retirement community, and it's so not. And so they go there, they see the pool, they see the whole like kind of bar area, the workout facilities, and just for the price point, Toll Brothers out there, it's not bad. Michael, I don't know if Taylor Swift plays out there, but I will find out. All right, next one. Boom. All right. Would you live in this brand new house in Rancho Cordova? Sell it. Nope. Okay, so here's the thing about these houses I've been, and this one was the Cressley house that I showcased. Beautiful house, Residence 1. Cressley for me in Rancho specifically is probably one of my favorite builders. If you're looking for something and you're going to spend maybe between like 600 and 800. For me, Cressley's that one builder I'd be looking at. Maybe Woodside as well too. I like Woodside, but I do like the Cressley build, and I like these communities out there too. Now, here's the biggest thing about Cressley though, is they do build a little bit more expensive than most. Now, for me though, here's where you run into a little problem in Rancho, right? You got this Cressley home, which is nice, which you can get in the 7s. Do you go to Folsom and get something in there, Taylor Morrison, the 7s? And that's kind of one of the things that they're running into. But I think the house is nice. I think Rancho is one of the best bang for your bucks in the area. And I think if you're someone coming in from another area, I think like, let's say someone is coming in from the Bay Area and you're thinking to yourself, I want a brand new home. I would honestly tell you the areas that I'd be looking at for a brand new home, I'd go Elk Grove, I'd go Vineyard, I'd go West Sacramento, I would go West Roseville, I'd go Rockland. I'd go Folsom. Maybe Lincoln. But that's kind of where I'd be looking right now. There's so much new home building in the Sacramento area. It's absolutely crazy. All right. Lennar Homes doing too much. Lennar Homes aren't really doing much, honestly. Like it's so funny. And I think one of the things that I've been noticing, and this is the funniest thing, like Lennar doesn't play nice with realtors. They never have. But what you're noticing right now is that because YouTube is becoming a little bit more like popular, right? Like a lot of people are out there. There's a lot of people doing channels and featuring communities and everything too. What you're noticing right now is because Lennar wasn't smart enough to actually play nice with realtors, all the realtors, you know, we don't really play nice with Lennar, you know, honestly, like, and it's not like a bad thing. It's just Lennar doesn't really care. Lennar's never been one of those companies that have reached out to us, told us about promotions, said, hey, we're doing this, we're doing that. They just don't, they really kind of, their own kind of little island. So for me, like I say, I open up an email every day. I got emails from like Taylor, Toll Brothers, New Home Company, and everything else. Like Lennar just doesn't do it. They just play by their own rules. El Dorado Hills is overpopulated already. Here's the thing about El Dorado Hills right now. This is the crazy part. A lot of people that I've been working with just feel that a lot of stuff in El Dorado Hills at this point is overpriced. A lot of people are freaked out too. Nikki and I were talking about this, and I think a lot of people right now are feeling that El Dorado Hills with the homeowners insurance, with the future of it as well too. I mean, if there's a fire and how fire insurance is creeping into Serrano as well too, a lot of people are very nervous about buying a house up there that all of a sudden, like, you know, next year the insurance could go up if there's a fire. So I think a lot of people are staying away from El Dorado Hills. And it's interesting, right? It just slowed down. I think a lot of people also, especially in the Serrano area, maybe overvalued their homes a little bit, and they've been throwing them on the market. And now those things are sitting, and they still have that kind of chip where they're like, no, my house is going to sell for that. So they'll try to keep it. But I think eventually, like if you want to sell those houses, you have two options right now. Right now, just drop the price and sell it before the end of the year. Or hopefully interest rates will be down maybe in the low 5s next year, relist it in spring, redo the photos, get a new listing agent, and call it a day. So it's going to be interesting how El Dorado is. I like El Dorado Hills. I think El Dorado Hills is a beautiful area. I think it's really, really like amazing, especially now that Folsom Ranch and Folsom is building all those brand new homes. El Dorado Hills has really kind of gained that whole like resort style living. You know, there's not a lot of house building up here. We've got the views and everything too. But like I said, the biggest thing right now is a lot of people are nervous about fire insurance. And in Sacramento, we don't have the earthquakes. We don't got tornadoes. We don't got hurricanes. But we do have a fire season here too. And that's something to keep in mind. That's kind of why whenever we're looking at any home that we think that might be in danger of that, we always are talking to home insurance people to make sure that we know what the quote is before we even get anyone in looking at it. All right, Pamela. Do you see any upcoming changes for South Sacramento in regards to housing and retail development? Yeah, I heard about there's going to be a little bit of affordable housing in South Sacramento. That's what I heard, right? I think South Sacramento, a lot of people, look at South Sacramento and they're like, I'm not sure about it. I love South Sacramento. I think the idea for me is that I think that the downtown area is going to grow. I think South Sacramento's got some amazing spots to eat food. I think that South Sacramento is going to be one of those spots that you can still get affordable housing there too. I think that what you're going to notice down there is there are some plans for retail centers to pop up in South Sac. I do think, though, one of the things that I'd love to see is, because there's not really unless I'm missing it, there's not really a whole lot of land to build out there. I think that's one of the reasons why it's been slower to get in there. So I think that what it really does need is kind of just to revamp the area just a little bit. But I think when the A's come into town, I think South Sac is gonna develop along with that too. That's just my own thought. All right. I sincerely look forward to your fabulous show each and every week. Thank you, dear Mark. Hey, Wendy, I missed you last week. It's good to see you, or good to hear from you. Hopefully all is well with you. But South Sacramento, I like it. Here's the thing for me. A lot of people, how can I say it? When I was looking for a house to buy, right, 3 years ago, I was looking at Folsom. I was looking at Folsom, and everything was just so expensive there. And I was looking at it and going, I don't like the floor plans. And I think I'm buying at the height, right? At the popularity. Everyone loves Folsom. Everything is priced high. I'm not a big fan of it. And so then I looked at areas that I thought in the future would appreciate, better, right? So I looked at areas like Cameron Park. I looked at areas like Lincoln. I looked at areas, even a little bit of Anatolia, although Anatolia, that didn't last too long, just because I didn't find anything I really liked out there. The reason why I settled on Gold River was strategic, right? One, as a realtor, it's central. But one of the things for me is I like the idea of stuff that's going to in the future grow and develop. I like the idea of I bought in Gold River, in 3 years, but it was it wasn't just I'm going to buy in Gold River. Yes, my wife's family lives here and the school's here and everything too. But we were looking at other spots, but all the spots we were looking at, I looked at as path to progress. Like Cameron Park, I think Cameron Park's a great spot. I think a lot of people might go, oh, Cameron Park this, Cameron Park that, because they're looking at it now, right? I mean, if you could go back and look at Folsom, what it was like, do you know what I mean? It would just be crazy. No one would, if you could go back, 15 years and you told someone you should move to Folsom, they wouldn't do it. But now everyone, it's like common knowledge. Folsom is awesome. We're moving there. So for me, I like the areas like the Cameron Parks. I like the South Sacramentos that can develop and grow and everything too. So for me, I don't know. I really, really think that right now, because Sacramento is building, it's growing. All these houses are being built. All this Melrose is going to bring in new schools, new parks and everything too. I think that the areas like Cameron Park, I think the areas like Gold River, because they're next to areas like Folsom, next to areas like El Dorado Hills, South Sacramento is near downtown, close enough to downtown. But I think areas like that are the ones to invest money into, because I think that's where you're going to see really good appreciation. All right, let me show you my house that I got. The second ad, that's the last one for the night, in Pilot Hill. Gorgeous house. Welcome to 1410 Hound Hollow Road, located in Pilot Hill, California. This home features 4 bedrooms and 3.5 baths, 2,061 square feet of living space. One of my favorite parts is it sits on 40 plus acres with some of the best views of Folsom Lake, and it's offered for $1,188,000. And guess what, guys? It's actually currently not on the California Fair Plan, which is just amazing. It also comes with a main house, a guest house, and a workshop, all located on the property, solar, water pump. It is just an amazing property if you're looking for something that you want to move all the family in, if you're looking for something as an escape, a getaway. Unbelievable land, unbelievable location. This house is really one of a kind. The price tag on it will make it go really, really fast. So if you guys are looking for something, if you're looking for that one of a kind forever property, this is definitely it. You should definitely take a look at it before this property is gone, which will be soon. Now, here's the thing about this house right now, too. And it's our listing. We love it. It's fantastic. Now, the thing, a lot of people will look at it immediately and go, there's just no way the home insurance is going to be too crazy. For the year, it's under $2,500 a month. I mean, $2,500 a year. Ugh. A little bit of a cold. Under $2,500 a year for home insurance for 40 acres plus. You got views of Folsom. You got 3 structures. You got the main house, which is just great. You got the guest house, which is redone with some of the best updates and finishes, bar none. Then you have a workshop that has high ceilings, views of Folsom Lake as well too. And you got 40 plus acres. I mean, like, the thing that's crazy about this home right now is, like, the home insurance on this thing is just not what some of the houses. I mean, I've seen houses that are like not even like they're on 5 acres in Placerville or something, and they're like $14,000 a year. So for me, one of the main reasons why we wanted to list this home is because this is one of the few properties I've seen that's kind of like a California estate, up on a hill with views, acreage. You can move in the whole family. And if you look at the price point, considering what the home insurance is, it's just a smoking deal. So if you guys want to see this one, let me know. This is really an amazing house. If you're someone who's saying to yourself, I want that kind of estate, I want to get out of here, it's still a little remote, honestly. But at the same time, that's kind of one of the appeals for it. If you're looking to retire, if you're looking to get away, and you don't want to pay crazy home insurance, guys, this is a great one for you. All right. Papa. All right. Sub, like, shared, ready to move to the God's country out of this. All right. Well, we're here for you when you want to. Like, reach out, call, talk. Anyone who's on the show too, just so you guys know, and a lot of people have reached out to me. I don't do the whole selly thing. If you guys want to reach out, if you guys are watching this, if you guys are curious about Sacramento, you don't even have to tell me your name. I just love talking real estate. I love talking Sacramento. A lot of people are thinking, oh man, you're a realtor, so you're a salesman. Dude, I am the biggest Sacramento enthusiast because I know what you can get here. I just know what you can get here. I know that, like, for me, I'm not as stressed as I used to be. The traffic isn't as bad. Except for fire season, the air is not bad. I mean, you have and the crazy part is you got wildlife, right? I got turkeys. I got this. I'm in Gold River, which is not really that rural. So I don't know. If you guys are looking for like a change of pace, if you guys are looking for something that for the most part is what you always thought you wanted. I know it sounds kind of weird, but growing up, I was always telling myself, I want a big house. I want a pool. I want to be able to hang out. I want to do that stuff too. And like I said, growing up in Marin County, I was thinking to myself, I don't know what I'm going to get. I rented. I moved to Sacramento. I saw what I could get and I packed my bags and I headed to Sacramento. So for me, I'm a big enthusiast. And the truth is for me, like when I talk to you guys about this, yeah, I would love to work with you. I'd love to find you that house, or I'd love to sell your house like we're doing on this channel with these videos. But here's the thing. Even if you don't work with me, even if you get these videos and maybe you work with your buddy Jed, like understand this, hopefully your move, like you see what I see. You enjoy the peace of mind. You enjoy more time with your family. You enjoy less stress. You enjoy the community vibe that I do. Because for me, like that's the stuff that makes my life fun. That's the stuff that makes my life enjoyable. Like my big stress today was basically because my wife's Greek. We're getting ready for a Greek party in our backyard. And we're worried about like what tablecloths to buy. And I could tell you this, if I lived in the Bay Area, she'd be working, I'd be working, and we'd be like losing our mind about like how we have no money in the bank and the mortgage is due and we got to make sure the paychecks get in so we can pay the mortgage. And I don't want that. I love the lifestyle out here. So like I said, guys, even if you don't work with me, even if you listen to this video, which you can now on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts as well too, all you gotta do is type in Sacramento real estate. Hopefully you'll understand that for me, I'm a Sacramento enthusiast. I made the move out here. And the only big mistake I made was not doing it sooner. And I think for you guys could have that peace of mind that I have, that relaxing, enjoyable evening where you say to yourself, I'm not freaked out. I love the move that I made. And it could take a little time. I mean, it's not an easy thing. I mean, transferring jobs, finding a job. But once you kind of get settled and you realize that the pace is slower, the traffic isn't that bad, you'll be a lot happier. All right. Hakeem the Dream. Good evening, my friend. I haven't seen you in a while. Hopefully all is well with you and your family. All right. Looking for some spots to eat Sacramento. Ooh. Guys, I'll tell you something. If you are a big fan of noodles, soup, like ramen, all that stuff too. We've got one spot in Sacramento that has a Michelin star. It's a ramen spot. We've got noodle places. We got boba. We got Korean barbecue. We got so much food. It is not even funny out here. Also, we got like 9 Costco's in Sacramento County, and then we got the others in Placer. So guys, we are a food eating, pool loving, area. Hopefully you guys come out and enjoy it. And if you guys, even though you don't work with me, if you want to, give me a call and I'll tell you some great spots to eat to have some food. All right, pros and cons of living Cameron Park. Thanks for covering it. I totally agree. It's an up-and-coming community. I close escrow next week in Cameron Park, relocating from Rancho. And like I said, you know, the funniest thing, and I say this in this video, and hopefully you guys are listening to the video, is that if you look at Sacramento in general, like Sacramento started like in like East Sacramento Land Park. And that was the area, you know, near the Capitol. That's where people moved. And then all of a sudden they started going kind of up the 50 and up the 80, right? But let's stick on the 50. So they went up to the 50, and then you have areas like Sierra Oaks, you have Arden, all that stuff too. Boom. All right, well, you know what? That area is getting a little impacted. So let's make the move. Then you're up at Fair Oaks, and then you're like all of a sudden you're hitting Folsom. Then you're going El Dorado because we're growing, we're expanding. All of a sudden we're building. You know, infrastructure is growing and everything too. And so for me, I look at El Dorado Hills and I say, like, El Dorado Hills right now, in my opinion, right now, you're seeing a lot of stuff sit. I think there could be, you know, eventually a little bit of a fire sale up there and things could move. And all of a sudden there could even be building. Because if you know right now, and this is a cool one, like if you know that Lennar community up in El Dorado Hills, Blackstone, and if you look up on the hill, that whole land right there, they're going to start building new homes over there as well too. They're going to be building a Costco in El Dorado Hills. So how I see it is that El Dorado Hills, like it or hate it, don't hate me for this. El Dorado Hills is going to be what Folsom was maybe before they started building there and just started, right? So El Dorado Hills is going to be kind of like the new Folsom. And I think Cameron Park and those areas past it are going to be kind of like the new El Dorado Hills because they do have the views, they have the location, they just were a little bit more remote. But when you have El Dorado Hills that now has like Costco, they're getting more retail, all of a sudden it's not as far from shopping. So like I said, I love the area, I love the growth, but historically, if you look at Sacramento, they've definitely done their move up the 50 and every spot up the 50. And I'm not going to say this is a guarantee, but isn't it funny how every spot up the 50 tends to be worth more and more and more? Something to think about. All right. Boom. Mark, are you receiving calls from people who want to move back to California and looking in Sacramento area due to affordability? Yeah. Actually, I've gotten a lot of calls from people, not a lot, relatively, a lot of calls from people from Florida, right? People from Florida that a couple of people that actually moved out and they want to come back in. So there have been a lot of people who've actually moved out of California to Florida and moving back to California. I think, basically our conversations were centered around like, I didn't realize the weather was like this. There's a lot of natural disasters. I was complaining about my home insurance and now I realize that Florida was brutal. So a lot of people were making the move here. Now there are some people though that are also looking at Texas. Texas is super hot right now. And a lot of people from Florida are also making the move to Texas. But I will say one thing, Sacramento, the biggest thing about Sacramento is that there's like a 50-50 vote, I guess. 50% of the people are thinking like California or Sacramento is still affordable. 50% aren't. The 50% usually they're saying Sacramento isn't affordable are people who lived in Sacramento and have seen it just explode. But what we're noticing still is areas like LA, areas like San Francisco and the Bay Area, people are still coming out here. Now, there is a little bit of, I wouldn't say sticker shock, but there still is a little bit of like, oh, I thought I could get like, 4,000 square foot house with a pool for like $500,000. So they expect that a little bit, right? And when they come out here, they're seeing that they could probably get that for 1.5 and they're okay with it considering they're selling their like $3 million Blackhawk house in Danville. So I think what we're seeing right now is that people are still looking to Sacramento as affordable. But also they're looking at areas like Linda, Plumas Lake, Marysville, and Yuba more than ever. So I think those areas are going to develop and grow too. I think that could be the next affordable area. Because I considered Sacramento maybe 5 years ago before COVID and the blow up of house prices. I looked at Sacramento. I'm like, that's pretty affordable considering California. Now, I look at like Linda, Marysville, and Plumas Lake. I think that like as Sacramento develops and grows, those areas are going to be spots that a lot of people who might not be able to afford Sacramento are going to move into. Now, relative Sacramento to like LA and the Bay Area, we're always going to be affordable, right? We are. Even as far as like jobs and everything too, like we are still an affordable solution to people who are living like in the Bay Area and they're going to buy a small little condo in San Jose for $2 million. So we always have that. And we're lucky to have that market. We're lucky to actually have that funnel of people that coming in from the Bay Area, coming in from LA and bigger markets. And that really, really helps us. Not to mention also, the funniest thing is a lot of people have discovered how amazing Sacramento is during like the winter season or the summer season as they're driving to Tahoe. And then all of a sudden they see all this building, all this growth, and they pull off the freeway and develop, and they see it. So I do think as far as ours affordability, we're not as affordable as we were 5 years ago. Comparatively towards the Bay Area and LA, we still are affordable. And I think as far as California in general, if you're looking for like that Sacramento price that you saw maybe 5 years ago, you're still going to see it in areas like Linda, Plymouth Lake, Marysville, and Yuba. And I think those areas, what we're going to see is those areas are going to develop really fast, grow, and all of a sudden they're going to take off. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. Hey guys, if you guys are enjoying the broadcast, smash that like button, share, subscribe. Like I said, guys, as you've seen the videos I've been dropping on this channel, I'm out and about everywhere. I mean, man, this weekend was crazy. Where was I? I was like in Rancho, Elk Grove. I was in Vineyard. I was in like, I think I was in El Dorado for a little bit talking to Stacy. I was everywhere, guys. So for you guys, if you guys are someone who don't know the Sacramento area and you're not familiar with it, right? And you're saying, I just want to move to Sacramento, but now I'm kind of realizing there's a lot of spots in Sacramento. There is. And you really need to work with realtors that know the entire area, because at times you're going to say, I want to buy in Folsom. You're going to go to Folsom, and then you would never have known that Rockland exists, or El Dorado Hills exists, or like Rancho exists. And it's really, really important that you know all these spots, so that way you can make an educated decision. And I've seen more and more realtors just basically, like those Zillow Flex teams, basically like all they do is they show you one house, they put you in contract and call it a day. Where that for me is lazy real estate. I think that in order for me to sleep at night, I need to know that anyone putting in an offer feels like they were educated, and at the end of the day, they made the decision and it wasn't based at all on me, my words, or anything. I'm an educator. I show you stuff. I listen to what you like, and we take a nice little tour of the Sacramento area. Could be a day, could be 2 days, could be like 6 months. But we find you that amazing spot because this is a super important move for you. It's a super important purchase for you, and it shouldn't be just a check. Okay, that's my spiel. All right, boom. Would you rather have a house with a pool? You guys are killing me, man. I'm a pool type of guy, and you guys are going views. I will be honest with you, though. I want both. No, I'm joking. I love the views too. I think the idea, like that Pilot Hill property that we got listed, the idea of waking up, having a cup of coffee and seeing Folsom Lake, that's pretty awesome. I mean, we are very much blessed to live where we do, where you could have places like El Dorado Hills where you got spectacular views. You got areas like Granite Bay. You got areas that have like nice, kind of like Folsom. I mean, we got some good spots here, guys. We are definitely spoiled. All right, Pamela, hold on. Boom, let me bring your comment up. All right, you have to research an area before you move because moving is costly and time consuming. That's why I watch your show. You provide me with good info because before I move. Thanks for doing so. Sorry about completely butchering your comment. It was just me. I'm a little feeling under the weather a little bit. I agree with you, Pamela. And I think that like as realtors nowadays, because the real estate market right now with the buyer broker thing, everyone's going to say, oh, there's a lot of realtors that are hurting right now too. And I think that part of our job, we're educators, right? I don't think that we should ever sell. I know it sounds kind of weird, right? Realtor, seller. No, I think it's always about education. I always tell my clients this, and I think a lot of my clients will probably say like, yep, heard it from Mark. How can I say this? If you get educated about something and you're shown all the various options, it's not my job to tell you what to choose, where to go, what to buy. I always tell people this. I'm like, if we do this right, I'm going to show you a bunch of stuff. You're going to feel like you saw everything. And I want you to go to Zillow. I want you to look at maps. If you see something else that really interests you, let's go see it. But at the end of the day, you should stop me and say, Mark, we found our house. And if we can do that, like it is such a better transaction and it makes sense for everybody. Everybody is super happy. And I think for myself, like I sleep great at night with that. And that's how we do it. That's how we do it on my team. Michelle's on board. We just put Alice into our new home when we're going to do a video over there. Nikki's the same way. I mean, she's working with Daryl to find him an amazing house and she's been doing it night and day. So like, we love you guys. We appreciate your trust. And we will continue doing business the way we do it, where it's more about you guys. It's our relationship, developing it, growing it, and being there for you even after we close. And trust me, it's crazy, but I talk to a lot of my clients after we close and they're like, do you know a good landscaper? I'm like, oh yeah, here you go. We always are like that. And that's kind of how I think business should be done. So that's my 2 cents. Again, guys, if you're enjoying this video, smash that like button. All right, let's get back to some questions. All right, Chris, title and thumbnail art on this video, so awesome. Haha, you're the man, Mark. Hey, Chris, man, I appreciate it. Yeah, I've been trying to step up my thumbnail game, without the Home Alone face. I've been trying to stay away from that. It's so hard because honestly, the funniest thing is a lot of people will see this stuff. Like I go drop my daughter off and they're like, oh, you're the guy on YouTube. And I just don't want to, can you imagine? She's in high school. She's like, hey, there's my dad. He did all these crazy thumbnails. So I want to kind of just do something that's a little bit more like normal, but still has some good images. So I hopefully enjoyed it. All right. Would you rather have a house? There we go. Okay. Who's planning on buying later this year? Yes and no. Here's the thing, guys. As we always say on this channel, time your life. Do not time the market. I would say, though, if you're planning on buying, whether it's this year or next year, have a game plan, strategy. You don't have to buy this year, but at least know what you like, know what you want to spend, know your monthly too. And this is a huge thing too. Like a lot of people are so focused on like the interest rate. I want a 4.2 interest rate. That's what I want. I always tell my clients, what is a monthly you want? A monthly is more like you can feel it, you can touch it, you know it. It's like a rent. Everyone's rented before. Well, maybe. But what I'm saying is like figure out what that monthly looks like and then start doing research, like areas, communities, figuring out what you like, and just doing the time, working it. Like if you're going to spend, like, let's say like you're buying a $500,000 house, do the education piece of it. Like I said, a lot of people spend more time researching a television set than researching an area to buy a house. Don't be that person. Do the research now, figure it out. We work with some clients who aren't even ready to buy till like February. We have an amazing, a couple who basically was like, no, we are waiting till February to buy. And we've already taken them out on maybe like 3 or 4, I think 3 tours already, to kind of check out the areas, check out what's available and everything too, because that's our job. And our educating is what we do. And there's no rush, there's no pressure. It's all about them. And so I think that like, as far as people, even if you are planning to buy maybe in February, get out there now and figure out like communities, areas, builders, incentives, and all that stuff. It will benefit you later. Believe me. All right. Who wishes more resale inventory would hit the market? Me. Oh, me. I do. It's crazy. Like it's so funny. A lot of people are like, oh my God, inventory's up. We're back to what we are. It's like inventory is staying on the market. There's just a lot of houses. And I think a lot of sellers are like, hey man, my house might be worth $900,000. You called me on the phone and you said you could sell it for $1 million. We're keeping it at $1 million. I'm in a 2.75. So if it doesn't sell, I'm not really worried about it. I think that's the inventory that's piling up on the market. I think a lot of people, even though, we're in the low 6s, high 5s interest rate, I still think that doesn't compare to someone who has a 2.75, or if you're a VA, 2.25, and you're sitting there on a house and you're saying to yourself, the election's happening, we're headed towards a recession, or we're in a recession. I think I'll stick with my 2.75 instead of going crazy and getting that huge house. So that's, I think, what we're running into. All right, next one, boom. Who's checking the new home company at Elk Grove? Yeah, I saw so many people that there had boba. I will tell you one thing. No one touches Toll Brothers in the grand opening. They bring in music. They bring in food. Toll Brothers hooks it up. If you guys ever go to a grand opening for a community, even if you're not in the Toll Brothers like state of mind, like go to one of their events. I kid you not. Catering, food, music, the whole 9 yards. New home company out there. Boba, it was okay. But the community, very competitive with Taylor Morrison. Floor plans were great. I do think what you're going to see in Elk Grove, people love Elk Grove, hate Elk Grove, whatever. I think it's a great hot market. I think they're developing and growing. And I think Elk Grove is one of those spots where I think it's just going to explode. The thing about the new home company, and this is what I say, no one can predict the real estate market. But what we have been seeing is a lot of the builders, when they start selling, they start low. Right? They start to get the momentum of selling houses. And then once the momentum happens, they start raising the prices. So every release, so let's say you buy a house for $600,000. Okay, boom. All of a sudden it's to $650 because it's every release they increase the price. And next thing you know, you walk into a house that's like, 6 months after they build it, they hand you the keys. It's worth like $680,000, $700,000. So I do think there is a little validity to buying early in a community because, like I said, every release are going to increase the price, and you could walk into some sweet appreciation. Those homes that I was talking about, Tri Point, Canterley, and Lariat, those things were in the fives, so people made some monster appreciation. So that's just something to think about. Boom. All right, James. I did like the new home company floor plans. Terrible names. I know. Subpar decor. They had cooling issues in their model homes, haha. But it may be in consideration. Yeah, honestly, I hate. God, such boring names. Residence 5910. I'm like, come on, man. Seriously, like. You can do better than that. One of the things I like about Taylor is the fact they name their things. I don't like the naming, the numbers, all that stuff. I think that's bland. I think that's generic. I think that's just something like it so seems like, like prisoner 9153. It just, there's nothing to it. So yeah, I'm with you on that. Air conditioning. Yeah, I noticed that they did have a little bit of problems on that. But I will say this. I thought that a couple of the floor plans I really did like. I didn't really like the smaller floor plans. Honestly, I didn't think they flowed that nicely. I thought the elevations were pretty good. I didn't know if I was like gung-ho completely about the elevations of the home. I think that they didn't go too crazy on the upgrades and the finishes in the homes. And if they did, they probably should have stepped it up a little bit. Like the railings, they didn't have any of the iron railings. They're good. But as far as for me, all that stuff you can update in the design center. I did think the flow of those floor plans, though, the bigger ones, I think they did compete with like the Sawyer and the Grace and the Taylor. So yeah, no, I think it's good because, I think in Elk Grove, you're seeing a lot of the KBs, a lot of the Meritages and everything too. And I think Taylor's been like the strongest game in town. And so, in fact, my buddies, the Seguras, they switched from Tim to Taylor. So I think New Home Company is well needed in that area. Beezer is selling strong too. I ran into a salesperson over in Folsom, and she was like, we're almost done with Folsom, and I hope they send me an Elk Grove because they are just selling left and right. So I think Elk Grove is definitely a strong, strong market. All right. Elk Grove has some good schools and nice neighborhoods. Yeah, any area you look at, like it's almost like anything you buy on Amazon, you can always find something negative to say. It's just hard with Elk Grove. Elk Grove is one of those spots where I tell people like the Sacramento Zoo's moving over there. You're going to have a train station to connect you with the Bay Area. That's not direct connection, but it's going to be something that people can commute to the Bay Area on. You're going to have like new like schools, new areas. Like Elk Grove is really, really going to be one of those spots that is going to be a heavy hitter, if not already. The 757 is going to really be, I don't know. It's just going to be really, really good. Now, if you guys want to kind of see what it's going to look like in the future a little bit, I would say going over to Taylor Morrison's First Madera community and drive through it. Really, really nice. Like I said, I think Elk Grove, for a lot of people, they're picking Elk Grove for the right reasons. School, growth potential, close to the Bay Area, close to downtown. There's not a whole lot of negatives I can think of in Elk Grove. Also, the food scene in Elk Grove is really, really good. So I don't know. Elk Grove, I think, like I said, I've said on this channel straight up, Elk Grove is one of those spots that it's definitely got to watch out for it. All right. Ellie and Taylor are just pros at staging. IMO. Yeah. You want to talk about professional stagers that just sell? Toll Brothers. Man, oh man. I swear, there's an amazing family that came in. There was a bunch of them, and I showed them all these homes. When I showed them Toll Brothers Regency, the models, the waterfall edges and everything too, woof, and you can sell those things crazy. Yeah, so I would say for you guys too, just the biggest thing you should focus on, especially when you're looking at new homes, is the flow. Don't it's like going to Costco if you're hungry, right? And you're going to buy everything in the store. Don't do that to yourself, right? Be realistic. What's your lifestyle? How many bedrooms do you need? Are you people that really want a formal dining room, or is it going to be just like a place setting, except for Thanksgiving? Like, figure out what that looks like, what the flow is and everything too. Because if you ever decide to resell the house, you want to make sure that the flow is correct, the flow is right. I would say, like, also if you're thinking about upgrades, hold off on the waterfall countertop edge, even though they're beautiful, and go for maybe a better lot location or a lot size. You know what I mean? So there are little things that I would say. Also, if you look, like, let's say you go to Taylor Morrison and you say to him, yeah, hey, I'm looking for this model and it's sold out. it's a high end demand model, and you're going to know that for resale in the future. So like, they're just these little tricks. And I think we just show so many new homes that we just kind of can see this stuff right away. And like I said, we do more new homes than any other team in the area. We'd love to work with you and talk to you a little bit about it. Like the new home stuff that, solar versus leased. If you decide to rent out an ADU, what does that look like? We talk about, we bring in, like we have landscapers we work with, all that fun stuff. So we'd love to work with you. All right. Boom. All right. This is a new home company, and they're dropping it down to 4.99. This just came in, what was it, today or yesterday, which tells me right now that even though a lot of the new homes are like selling like crazy, I still think that we could be seeing some smoking deals on some standing inventory right now. So like I said, I'm not saying like go buy, but I will say right now, there are some good deals out there. You got to figure out the timing is right for you, but 4.99 with new home company, Elk Grove, that's not too bad. All right. Californians are leaving Florida. Yeah. And they're coming back to California. Interesting. All right. Who wins? Sacramento versus Placer. All right. This is a good one. When you're driving on 80 East and past Greenback, you're getting close to entering Placer County. During this transition eastward, notice how the landscape opens up. The sky gets bigger and the air gets fresher. And when you get into Placer County town, notice the clean streets, well-planned roads, and commercial areas, and the abundance of well-kept green belts and parks. Guys, I think Placer County is absolutely gorgeous. The only thing about Placer County, two things. Number one, PG&E. Oof. I'm not a big fan of that, unless you're in Roseville, of course, but PG&E. And number two is, a lot of the houses that you see like in Placerville or, not Placerville, but in the Placer County area, you just need to make sure the home insurance isn't just out of control. But I do agree. I think Placer County is absolutely beautiful. I think like it's Hallmarkish and it's a beautiful spot to live, but definitely like those are the two things I would say. And as far as Sacramento County, I'd say that there's a lot of building happening. We are on SMUD, which I do like, but there's pros and cons. I think you just got to feel out the area and see which one's right for you. I think, like I said, the biggest thing is where you work, where you want to be. Are you an 80 type of person or are you a 50 type of person? Because you don't want to do the commute between Folsom and Rockland. That's not a good thing. All right. Who wants to see short videos about West Sacramento new homes? No. Okay, I won't do them. That's easy enough. Lower rates this week? Yes. No, they kind of went up, but like I said, that's kind of what's to be expected. I think it's probably going to drop a little bit and then plateau. That's just my gut. No way under $500 for a brand new construction home in Sacramento. Sunrise has the dumps out there. Guys, this goes back to what I'm telling you. Like, you need to research every single area that you're going to buy. You need to research communities and all that kind of fun stuff. And you need to work with realtors that actually know what they're talking about. All right, video and lives for the future. River Lake at the Pocket. Guys, we do request. I forget what we're going to do next Monday with Aaron, but I plan on doing one if I'm feeling better because I'm feeling a little under the weather today. I want to do all the new home communities in Rancho Cordova, talk about the HOA Melrose and all that stuff too. So I'm planning to drop that thing on Friday. Honestly, it's about 50-50 just because I'm not feeling too hot right now. So maybe, just maybe that will happen. All right. But like I said, give me a request. I would love to do videos on what you guys want to learn about. That's it. All right, Cy or no buy. I love it. All right, Cy is an inspector who blew up on Instagram for doing these inspections of new homes. I think it was either Phoenix or Vegas. Now he's being sued by Taylor Morrison. That ain't good. All right, looking for a brand new home in Folsom. This is making you absolutely no profit. Okay, here's the thing. Number one, if you're looking for Folsom, there's no better deal than this. Now, am I saying that like with interest rates, it's the best deal in the world? Like, I'm saying if you're looking for Folsom and you're going to Taylor Morrison, you're going to be paying in the 7s. You're going to Beezer, you're going to be paying in the 7s. You're going to Lennar, you're going to be paying in the 7s. Like, you could go to TriPoint, you can get yourself something maybe even under $600,000, get 6% back, be in a great area, up and coming, growing. Like, it makes sense. My buddy Nick, we put him into a house in TriPoint, Lariat, what was it, like 5 months ago, and his house has already appreciated $30,000. So I kind of got the numbers on this. All right. I've lived in Elk Grove for 30 years, going downhill. They're building low-income housing on the outskirts of Elk Grove. Be careful. Like I said, guys, do your research. But for me, they're putting a lot of good stuff in Elk Grove, though, too. Elk Grove, for me, Elk Grove is going to be crazy. And I think what you're going to notice in Elk Grove is that they are going to put apartments in. I already know that for sure. But I think they're not going to be cheap apartments. I think Elk Grove is an up-and-comer, you know. So, but I would say this. Research it. Development plans are online. If you're working with another realtor other than our team, I'm sure they can help you. All right, what's the cost of living in Sacramento? Guys, $5,000K starter home at 7% doesn't work. Here's the thing. Understand this. A lot of people who watch this channel, yes, they want to maybe be investors in the future, but they're also looking at primary homes. Now in Sacramento, as much as they tell you the median home price is like 500 and something, it's still hard to find. So for me, if you got to buy a home and you could find something at $500,000, 7%, you're not going to get that right now. I would say flip it, maybe to the new home area. I like the resale inventory normally, but I'm not seeing what I like to see there. And I think what you're going to notice is a lot of people who are going to buy either their primary home or investment homes, they're going to switch gears to new homes because of the incentives and because of the new home inventory that is outshining the resale stuff. All right, here's what you can get for Gold River. All right, guys, like I said, show me the winner in Grand Bay, Rockland, or El Dorado Hills. Only 3 nice cities in north of Sacramento. All right, you want to see some Grand Bay? Maybe I'll throw you guys some Grand Bay videos coming soon, I promise. All right, lower rates this week. I think price improves this week from inching up last week. Maybe an increased lender credit to cover up the loan costs to refinance. Minus 0.125 adjustment down to rate with no cost. Rob, literally, I got to have you on the show one night. Yeah, I think what you're going to see right now, we saw it go up a little bit, but I do think it's going to go like down and then it's going to plateau a little bit. I think it's going to be like that for a while though. All right, what food places in South Sac? The more ghetto the place, the better. I would love recommendations on food places. If you guys know some great places in Sacramento, please let me know. All right, looking for a brand new home in Folsom for under $600,000. Looking for $350,000, $400,000 with a VA loan in Sacramento. Okay, here's what I'll say. If you're looking at that price point, I think if you're looking for a 3-in-1 or 2-in-1, definitely doable. Now, if you're looking for $350,000, $400,000, Linda, California, which is about 30 minutes away from Roseville, you can get a brand new home for that at LGI. So it's definitely doable, but that's kind of what I would say as far as that price point you're looking at. Boom. Don't move to Rockland. All right, now this is an interesting one. Don't move here. Is a town that's definitely declining due to chronic traffic with drivers, vape shops every corner, especially near schools. We see homeless people looking for a place to plant for the night. It's lost its sweet, quiet feel. We lived here for 21 years, and what a big, terrible change. Now, here's what I'll say about this. One is, I've never seen a lot of this. I've never seen that in Rockland. I just haven't. I mean, it could be, might be, but I will say this, and this comes into a bigger problem or a bigger idea for me, right? Sacramento right now, because of its growth, development, all the homes being built in Sacramento, we have a big spotlight on us right now. So it's either that we go and start kind of creating a vibe that kind of correlated with all the hate that was thrown at Sacramento maybe 5 or 6 years ago, or we can shape Sacramento so that all our house prices will go up. Sacramento becomes a destination spot, Rockland, Roseville, and everything too. I think it's up to us. I think it's up to people moving into cities. If you see something you don't like, let's do something about it. But I think right now, if you look at your house, let's say you live in Rockland, or let's say you live in Folsom, and you see stuff being built that you don't like, I would literally jump on it. I do it in Gold River. If I see stuff I don't like in Gold River, I definitely do that. And it's mainly to protect my property prices, my community, and the nice atmosphere we have. So I think it kind of rests on everybody. That's my 2 cents. I'll get off my soapbox now. All right. Raimundo, one of my favorite Mexican restaurants is South Sac for nachos. It's called Hecho en el Mexico. Hecho en el Mexico. All right, I might have to try it out. I am a sucker for good food. Guys, if any of you guys want to go eat, give me a call. I'll meet you out there. All right, that's on my list. Hecho in Mexico. What is the true cost of living in Sacramento? Matt the Mortgage Guy rocks. I got to try that underground golf now. Matt is a rock star. He lives a great lifestyle. He's always out and about doing stuff with the kids. Family man, great lender. He's one of the top lenders in the Sacramento area as well, too. Broker. Sorry, they always get mad when I say that. Broker. And he's always been one of the top leaders in the Sacramento area. So, if you like Matt, I don't blame you. He's a great guy. Or what is true cost of living in Sacramento, California? Sold. I'm checking out Elk Grove and Rancho Cordova. My ex-girlfriend bought a house in Natomas and speaks very highly of it. I think both areas are rock solid. I think Rancho, you can probably get something for maybe like $100,000, $150,000 cheaper. Elk Grove, you can get some great stuff, and they're building a lot though too. But you pick two solid choices, completely different. But I mean, how do you say? You can look at Elk Grove and Rancho and kind of think to yourself, they look kind of the same, or they're kind of the same thing, but they're completely kind of different. So just do your research on both, or call me. All right. As a non-immigrant, HC holder, I think you are. I think you're eligible for some state jobs, but I don't know which ones. I'm not 100% sure which ones. So, who loves resale homes? Yes. No. I do not. The current inventory. I'm kind of with the current inventory part. So yeah, I get it. But I think what a lot of people are waiting for is the resale market to get a little bit better. And I think if it does, I think everyone will be a little happier with that. All right. Who thinks El Dorado Hills is overpriced? Yes. A lot of people that I'm talking to lately, hold on for a sec, grab a cup. All right. A lot of people that I'm talking to lately have had this feeling that El Dorado Hills is currently a little higher priced than it should be. For me, I love El Dorado Hills. I think it's a fantastic spot, but I would definitely, before you jump into a home there, check the comps, check how long the house has been on the market, check the history of the home, and do your research before putting in an offer, and also check with a home insurance person before pulling the trigger. That could cost you. All right, that is it. All right, guys. I think that's short and sweet. We're only an hour and 16 minutes. If you guys have enjoyed the show, if you guys enjoy the lives on Wednesday, please smash the like button, share it, comment. It would mean a lot to me and my buddy, the YouTube algorithm. I love these shows, and I thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your evening to listen to them, to contribute. Everyone definitely appreciates that. Right now, guys, we're on Spotify as well too. We're on Apple Podcasts, so search for us if that's a better way for you to get the information. And if you're looking to move in the area, or if you're looking to just talk real estate, I'm always available, and I love to do it. Okay, guys, remember, like, comment, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. Until next video, guys, this is Mark. I am out of here. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune into the Sacramento Real Estate Live broadcast on YouTube. The show would be nothing if it wasn't for the viewers and subscribers who took time out of their evening to watch and contribute to the show. Now, if you enjoyed the show, please smash that like button or leave a comment on how we can improve and make this show better. Now, if you're looking to purchase a home, sell a home, or just have questions about the Sacramento area, we would love to be your team in the area, so please reach out. We'd love to hear from you. Also, if you want some additional videos about the Sacramento area, here's a good one. It'll help you understand why so many people are making the move to the Sacramento area and calling it their home. It's right over there.